Once I was a crusader for the Divine Order. I pledged my life to Lucian the Divine. The war changed everything. He sent me to save the elves I grew up amongst. I arrived too late. Lucian ordered the use of death fog against the Black Ring, annihilating everyone I once knew in the process. Now I'm a mercenary killer, one of the infamous Lone Wolves. And my next target is none other than Lucian's own son.
Oh, don't stare. How would you look after eons in some ghastly crypt? Your people are rather prone to death. Mine are not. Yet when I emerged from my completely unjustified imprisonment, I found them gone. Our culture forgotten. Any trace of the world I knew all but obliterated. I must even hide my true face beneath an ever-shifting mask for fear you savages will attack me. That is how I wander this strange world. Trying to uncover the truth about a history you primitive people never even knew existed.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
The things I do to complete a contract. Being leashed by... Nice haircut, Smiley. Nice haircut, Smiley. Being leashed by the Order once was quite enough. Being leashed by the Order once was quite enough. Nice haircut, Smiley.
I'll need to run to headquarters right away.
Nice haircut, Smiley. Nice haircut, Smiley.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural. Ah, you're up. Yes. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. The good ship Merryweather. But you can stand at ease there, Private. You do realize you're not in any army here, don't you?
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you unable to cast source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. Did the murderer take him into this room?
Bloody murder.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Aren't you enterprising? I'll let Waters tell you no herself.
No known associates. In fact,
Go ahead.
you seem
She with the...
to spending time with the others.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this. Speak.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just want to catch whoever did this before they hurt anyone else. No known associates. In fact, he's...
Why won't you sing?
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
You look like my daddy. His name is Frida. He's waiting for me at home.
You are Jill, aren't you? I ain't saying nothing. Bloody dwarves. I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk here. You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
She got eaten by a void one.
He opens both eyes and turns his head toward you, looking you up and down. He smiles and closes his eyes once more.
You look like a boy to me. Listen, if you're interested. Or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
You, Jill, is that right? I've a few questions for you.
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
You are Jill, aren't you? I ain't. That isn't anger. It's bloody dwarves.
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
Anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that. Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back, the other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
I've nothing to hide.
The top door's barricaded. No way through for now.
There's a killer about, after all.
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
A no doesn't become a yes over time.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passant. You faring okay so far? Trust me, with Bishop Alexander in charge, things will get a lot better from here on out. He's God-woken, you know. You head on in now. Williams will get you.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked...
Precisely.
What's happened?
Onwards and upwards.
Thank the gods! By divine grace, what was...
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you.
Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too?
He whispers loudly to the other Magister.
Don't just cower there, Rix! Take out your blade!
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand. The Magisters look to...
Your lies end here! Get him!
Snaps into splinters.
Great God, something's pounding on the hull!
marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is. A warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor it doesn't budge.
Ship. The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here. Hear that, kid? We need to go!
But what about the ladder? It's right over there. You can go straight down.
As the boat rocks downward, a prayer to Lucian you once heard passes through your mind. The look you clench your arm.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
So the Order's right about one thing. We attract Voidwoken. Am I the lone survivor? Only one way to find out. So, time to find this Boris fellow. Rubbish. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore. Greet the Reaper, for I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. The face is familiar. What's left of it? He was aboard the ship.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright blood red color. Never before have you seen a lizard such as this. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
Pleased to make my acquaintance, are you? Why, only a few hours ago, I saw you skulk about that ship like a lost child in search of its mother. But you weren't a lost child, were you? Word has reached me, you see, through a very sour grapevine indeed, that you turned your back on your fellow passengers, left us to fend for ourselves. So much easier, isn't it, to look out for oneself alone? Of course I did. Takes more than some oversized cuttlefish to get the better of me. Besides, you'll find I wasn't complaining. I was making a point. About oneself. Alone. So, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence my standing here contemplating the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Which goes for the dry parts round here too, I imagine.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the Seven have mercy on their own creation. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World Tamer, the spouse of the sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. Even if it comes from the very person that left me and others to rot on a sinking ship. You do look able, though. Despite your selfish tendencies. Tendencies to which I'm no stranger, truth be told. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic and, yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or...
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado... A black cat. A herald of wisdom in my deplorable surrounding for an agreeable conversation, but go ahead. There isn't much to... It's the portent of it all. I can feel it. The revelation will be world-changing. I just know it. And justified it is, as certain as the sun, such is my conviction.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused.
Alexander.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, you!
Bishop Alexander looks up at the sound of your voice, curiosity on his face. Recognition seems to flicker in his eyes for a moment, But then he shakes his head and looks back. Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
The Lizard Magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
Did you see 'em? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Can't be pretty.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. Whatever do you mean by that?
Come on, old man. I can't wait.
I'm not an inmate. I'm a patient. The Order, they're taking care of me, of us. They're the only ones looking after us now the Divine's gone.
Irma? Please, please, you must help me. Oh, bless you, bless you. She's been missing for days now, and not a single soul will help me look for her. Irma's her name. She's about as high as your hip, black of hair, a quiet child. I'm sick with worry, completely sick. And no one in this damn camp will lift a finger to help me find her. This place turns people cold, cold and wicked. That fellow Jeth over there speaks unutterable evil, but I can't move away from him. I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little doll, and I was washing out her tunic. I turned from her for one moment, and she was gone. Left her doll behind, too. It's so unlike... Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you...
She soaks up a steady stream of tears with her shirt sleeve.
She ought to come with you, then. She ought to follow you back to me. You are an angel. Truly you are.
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your 5th blue jester this round.
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe. As she catches sight of you, recognition flashes in her terrified eyes. She drops her hands from her throat and starts hyperventilating.
Ben Mist, Ifan, Ben Mist, you killed them! You
them! He killed them all! Murderer! You can't hide who you are, killer. Look! Look at him! It's him! It's the Silver Claw himself!
That's it. I call court. Pay up.
I don't think I ain't watching.
Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Why don't you join us in a round of cards? Chuff to you, Chief. Here are your cards. You're up first.
You glance at your hand. 2 purple monarchs. A hard hand to beat.
Quite the hand, Freshie. Unfortunately, 2 is less than 5, and that's how many purples I've got. I reckon that makes me the winner. I'll be having your fee then. I'm sure the Reds told ya. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets. Well, you've heard of it now, ain't ya? Go on then, Freshie. Turn 'em out. Lone wolf, eh? If you lot are as fearsome as they say, how'd you let a troop of goons like the Reds get their hands on ya?
Ralvo looks you up and down.
You know what? I'm in a good mood. Take a hike, Freshie. You hear that, mates? This cub's got claws. Let's try 'em out, shall we?
Send us your children, your supplicants, divine. Our Father, who presideth over us. Our Father, who presideth. Send us your children, your supplicants, divine. Our Father, who presideth over us all. Lest the void overtake and devour us all. presideth over us all. Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
Irma, where are you, darling?
The cat, its eyes clear, and it...
Irma, where are you, darling?
Send us your children, your supplicants, a new divine. Greetings, child. I find myself in your so-called divine lands, yet I feel his absence deep in my heart all the same. You may feel like an inmate here, but you and your captors are the same stuff, in race and customs, if not heart. You'll see what I did.
You there? I'm looking for an inmate. He wears a large bronze ring with a dragon stamped into it. Name of Migo. Have you seen him? None of your business, inmate. Find me if you hear of a Migo.
Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
Stay back. Stay back. Keep that monster bedmast away from me.
Ho ho! Ain't come to shake me down for my knickers, have you? You're all I got left after your buddies were through with me. That's so. Huh. You look just like 'em. But then again, I never was the best at telling your kind apart. No harm intended.
Gods, the smell.
Please, excuse us.
You're talking to me, not him, Sam.
Oh, for the love of Lucian, Balladeer. You're acting like a madman.
Say it again. What you said about my wife. Go on. Piss off. Go on, Sam.
Well, it's the truth, and you know it. She's better off. So what if it was messy? I'd rather puke myself to death 1,000 times than let the Reds get to me. If she were my wife, I'd be happy.
A flat smile twitches across Balladeer's lips.
She never did like you. Bastard.
The man looks for a moment at the corpse at his feet, then turns back toward the nearly finished coffin, bloodied hammer in hand. He nods at you and turns back to his handiwork. He lines up another nail and hammers it into the panel.
I'll be with you soon, love.
Here you are. I wonder what keeps you. Tell me your tale. We are unfamiliar, yet familiar. We are the same material, you agree? I am very curious. So tell me your tale. Start from the beginning. Start from where you come. I see. Now tell me more. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you find. I understand. Now tell me how your story ends. A heavy burden to walk in a world that you no longer belong in. Take this rope. It is a gift. It is common, but it is nothing. Many fragments swirl on my shore. See what I gather.
The woman looks out on the gently lapping waves.
Haven't seen you around here before. Well, don't worry too much if you have a hard time settling in. Takes a while to get used to the place. You here alone?
She gives you a long look.
You keep them friends of yours close, eh? Some of us haven't got anyone at all anymore. Not much in this world someone you love can't make better. It's nothing. If I haven't learnt that by now, I haven't learnt anything at all. Used to be I had a family. A husband and a little boy. We were healers. Source was in our blood. Then they brought us here. I couldn't stop them from taking my boys from me when they did. Reckon they were cured. Maybe now I'm just waiting for him to call my name. Waiting and remembering.
Her eyes sparkle.
Kind of you to ask. Stefan, he was my little one. Smart as a whip and no less wicked. And my husband, he was called Felix. He was an expert healer. Could fix a broken bone in a short minute.
She talks for some time about birthdays, about Felix's prickly beard, about the skunk Stefan once dragged home for a pet. Joy radiates from her as she remembers. She places a warm hand on your shoulder.
What a gift to think of them. I'd like to give something to you too. A family recipe. One of Felix's best. You'd take care of yourself. You hear? You're a sweet one.
Ha! I found you, didn't I? Red, they said. Red, then dead. Not an attempt, mate. Not if I can bloody help it. Time's up, Your Highness. Let's dance. It's stabbing time.
Show yourself! Damn nuisance these assassins are. It's their frightful manners I mind the most, really. Well, that was rather fun, wasn't it? I do find it ever so invigorating to cut a cutthroat's throat. Oh, let's not succumb to melodrama, shall we? This kind of gutter vermin can hardly be said to be dangerous. Besides, one gets used to this kind of thing so quickly. This is hardly the first time someone's filled some poor fool's purse and bid him kill the prince. I'll tell you what, though. Whomever wants me out of the picture will have to do a lot better if they seek to get the better of me. All those bumblers they've sent so far mark a mere insult to my swordsmanship.
Out all dilly-eye day. Come on, you stubborn hunk of garbage.
The dwarf's fingers clamp around a splintered chunk of wood nailed to the skeleton of an old ship. His whole body strains with the effort of wrenching the plank free, to no avail.
Ah! Wouldn't you like to know?
The dwarf spits into each of his calloused palms and rubs them together before placing them both back on the plank and pulling.
Bleeding nail must be charred. Go on then, give it a go.
You grab the plank and pull. The rusted nail pops loose, and the plank promptly crumbles to pieces in your hand.
Oh, look at that.
Nice of you to finish the job after I... loosened her up.
He winks and flips a gold coin toward you. It makes a long, high arc, glinting in the sun, and lands squarely in your hand.
For your trouble. I suppose it were a fool's errand thinking I could make something out of this heap, but I couldn't help myself from trying.
He sucks a finger and holds it up to the wind, testing the breeze.
Winds like these, she would have capsized before she reached the break. Well, on to plan B.
He gives you a wry look, as though deciding whether to trust you.
Aye, was planning to build me a raft and paddle off. I've got business north of here, in a town called Driftwood. Far be it from me to miss an appointment. Why don't we make a deal then? You help me get out of this place, and I'll do the same for you. That's the spirit.
He lifts an invisible cap and bows with the grace of a courtier.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's... well, the name's dead and buried. What matters is what they call me. Beast. Well, there's a new one. Hawk of the high seas, eh? I like it. I'll tell you when you're older. Anyhow, we're a team now, so the me is not half as important as the us. Let's get down to brass tacks. Fighting, I mean. I've been up and down the realm so often it'd make your cabbage spin, and I've picked up a few tricks along the way. Truth be told, I've grown fond of crushing and casting. A battle mage, if you like. Then it's settled. Capital.
He taps hammer to he taps hammer. The old dog whimpers sadly, sniffing you.
Rest now, or you'll hie yourself to the grave. By the Queen's beard, it looks like you lost a fight with a claw hammer.
Instead of a potion, she hands you an empty bottle and a fat brown mushroom.
Not scared of a little elbow grease, are you? A fella ought to know how to put himself right. Go ahead and combine the mushroom with the... Once you've mastered the technique, you'll never need help from a crusty old quack like me again. Business savvy. Don't be profane. Dane's as stubborn as an old steer. Says he don't believe in alchemy and won't accept a potion from me or anyone else. Still...
He smacks your hand.
You're trying to kill me, ain't you? Get! Shut your trap. Lest you want what I gave them. Ralvo and his stupid cards.
Rest now, or you'll hie yourself to the grave.
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort, pain apparent in every movement, and madness screams from its wide...
You. Quite lost. Careful, or they'll cross your wires. Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time. Now, or didn't you hear me? Where grows the yarrow? Dire, and for you too, if you want to keep your top screwed on and your wires in a row. Do you hear me? Where does the yarrow grow?
What were you thinking, messing with Griff's?
bleeding.
Later.